The mouse of the day is Matthew Mozzarella, and I am so mad. Matthew Mozzarella just got me kicked off of the Talk Tuah podcast. If you guys didn't know, I got invited on the Talk Tuah podcast, which is hosted by the Hawk Tuah girl. It's a very new podcast, and I was going to be one of the first guests. I was so excited, but I went in there, and I brought 10 mice, and I let them loose in the studio as soon as I got there. Of course, I thought this was going to be a funny prank. I thought they were just going to laugh, and really I thought we'd carry on with the podcast and be a funny intro. But as soon as I got in there, I got kicked out and they called off the podcast session. I was so confused because I didn't understand why they would end the podcast session just because I let 10 mice loose in the studio. It seemed like a really funny joke. It turns out Matthew Mozzarella is an executive producer on the podcast. Talk to a girl. Please let me know why you invited Matthew Mozzarella to be an executive producer on this podcast. Is this an evil podcast? Are you going to be spreading mouse information and trying to trick people? Seriously? I don't know if Matthew Mozzarella is tricking her or if she's in on this, but this is not a good start to the podcast. This is not a good look. I would really appreciate if you would invite me back, and I'll bring all my mice. I'll show you my mouse pictures, and we can get Matthew Mozzarella out of here. But if you want to keep Matthew Mozzarella on the podcast after I tell you everything he's done, I don't think people should really be watching this. I don't know if I can support this podcast, guys. Matthew Mozzarella is an executive producer. This is so moused up. He's definitely going to be spreading some mouse information and just being evil in general on here, bringing up some evil topics. I wouldn't be surprised if they started discussing on the next podcast how to defeat mice and how to poison mice, how to build evil cheese factories that are going to kill lots of mice. This is so moused up, guys. I mean, at least I know that the reason I got kicked off wasn't because they thought the joke wasn't funny or because they think mice are gross or unsanitary or something. Because it was chill. I just brought the mice to hang out. It was a little funny, but also I thought like they would want to maybe pet the mice, maybe give them some treats, be friends with them. But no. Matthew Mozzarella was behind it, and he was just instructing her. Basically, she had an earpiece in, and he was just giving her instructions. I was really excited. I thought it was going to be my big break, to be honest, because I put out a lot of videos, but I'm not huge. I actually still have a pretty small account, so I thought being able to get this platform and spread my mice and show them off would be my big break, but this was so sad, and I was actually crying for about 2 hours after this, because it just really broke my heart. Matthew Mozzarella, this was the most evil prank I think you've done on me yet. You've stolen cheese from me. You've stolen money from me. You've tried to feed me poisonous cheese, which I had to spit out. But seriously, taking control of someone through an earpiece and giving them commands, evil commands to trick me into coming onto a podcast just to kick me off last second. Matthew Mozzarella, you're just toying with me at this point. You're playing mind games, and this is so moused up. I don't even understand how we used to be friends. I didn't do anything to you, Matthew Mozzarella, and now you just do the most evil things to me. You're just playing mind games, Matthew Mozzarella. You're the mouse of the day because I have to educate people on your presence, but you are not a chill mouse at all. Please leave some hate for Matthew Mozzarella in the comments, guys, and please, I could really use some kind words today. I'm feeling so bad after Matthew Mozzarella tried to convince me to come onto the Talk Tuah podcast and then just kicked me off last second.